Ladies and gentlemen, let us please welcome James from London Studio. He is the senior producer on Blood and Truth, which is coming exclusively to PlayStation VR. James, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for making time in a busy day, and we have to keep it tragically quick, but I wanted to get a bit of an update on Blood and Truth, which was revealed a little earlier, not too earlier this year, from at Paris Games Week in Paris.
Yep.
Which almost seems like the perfect setting to reveal. I know it's set in the gritty London underground, but it's still, you had your European flair. You were able to have a great showing and, kind of showcase what is a gorgeous, super high octane crime thriller, I guess.
Yeah.
That's my takeaway from it.
Thank you very much.
But did I encapsulate it well?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, what we're doing with Blood and Truth, I mean, it's if people are familiar with VR Worlds, it's a title that borrows a lot from the London heist, but is very much its own beast. Basically, what we're gunning for is to make a AAA action adventure game for VR that's built from the ground up for VR. And with this title, we're really pushing to make something that is, whereas London Heist was very much about gangsters and cockneys, this is more about making something that is in the vein of a true modern action movie, like something like John Wick or Atomic Blonde. That's what we want to go for. We want to make you feel like you are an action hero.
Did you see Atomic Blonde?
I have not seen Atomic Blonde. I've seen John Wick.
Yeah,
and,
I love John Wick. I've been
meaning,
kind of want to see Atomic Blonde. Someone was just talking to me about it. So that sounds excellent. Now, is it safe to say, does Blood and Truth occupy the literal same universe as the London heist, or are you not saying?
No, we are. No, this is very much its own story, its own. Yeah, so it's set in modern London. It kind of embraces both the glamour and the grit of London. So you'll have seen in the demo, we're in this very kind of high-end casino, but we also want to take the story to the London we know. So there's a variety of locations, from rundown tower blocks to what you're seeing in the demo.
So what did the team learn from working on VR Worlds? Because I feel like there were a lot of lessons that you learned just naturally by making a big splash right out of the gate with VR. And now you're coming back with, I would say, a more focused experience that you're going further with. And what lessons are guiding you on that?
It's such a tough question because there is so much. Not just the lessons from that game, but lessons we learn every day. I mean, there is very much a kind of pioneer spirit about VR right now, where we're continually finding new problems, but then new interesting solutions. I'd say some of the big stuff from VR Worlds that we're taking forwards are things around one-to-one interaction and how just like those little moments where you're picking up a cigar and smoking it in the London heist, people respond to so much. They love that sequence. So it's not just about those big features like the traversal and the gunplay. It's also about the little things that kind of add to that experience and add to that level of immersion in a VR game.
That's one of the things that I often feel like goes unrepresented, or at least underrepresented in video games, is quiet, small moments that give you perspective on the larger, more bombastic moments. And that's something I always advocate for, is you can't have the giant action set piece if you don't have, the calm before the storm, right?
This is very true. Yeah, I mean, you sound like you've worked on the design team. This is
I
what
do
we talk
actually.
About.
Surprise!
No,
Rip off my mask.
We're constantly looking at pacing and how you break up this experience, and kind of unlike a traditional game, we're kind of looking at this more like a movie. So you're looking at the pacing of each mission. You're making sure you've got those highs and lows. You're making sure you've got those moments of calm to then really emphasize the action scenes when they really happen. And also, just from a VR perspective, we've learned that if you break up the experience and you have those calmer moments and those longer action scenes, then you can make a longer play time and a longer play session, then you don't tire the player. So we've gone from having 10-minute play sessions now to kind of 30-40 minutes. We can have people playing much longer, much more interesting missions now by breaking it up.
Absolutely. What about the gameplay, can you tell me? Because this has a lot more wrinkles, it seems, than the London heist. It feels like you have a little bit more of an impact on the world around you.
Sure, yeah. So we've got kind of our core pillars, the core things that we work around. We've obviously got the obvious stuff like the gunplay and the traversal and the movement around the environments, but we also heavily lean into the storytelling and the drama scenes as well. That really is what builds out this experience and makes it much more than just a standard shooter. And we're not really showing too much of that yet in the current demo, but in the future demos you're going to see, and the future missions, you're going to see a lot more of how we're taking cutscenes and drama to the next level in VR.
To the next level, even. Level 2.
Yeah, yeah, and beyond, hopefully, yeah.
I don't know if you're comfortable sharing, so, let me know, but any particular challenges unique to VR that the team had to overcome? Because, as we talk about a lot on the show, this is both a new and a familiar space for developers, and especially with the launch of PlayStation VR, sometimes this was developers' first foray into foray? What's the word? What am I thinking of? You guys
go with what
know.
you like. Yeah, I'm not sure.
But what kind of challenges did you guys have to overcome?
Again, it's an interesting question because again, there is so many things I could talk about. But I would say, one of the good ones, one of the interesting ones is around. It's just around player feedback and how you, like, some of the simplest things you would do in a traditional game, like how much ammo do you have, how much health do you have, all of those things. You have to rethink for VR. You have to, because you don't want to have interface cluttering things up. You want to have a pure cinematic experience. You want to have the player be able to drink in the environment. So the way we're approaching that and some of the ideas we're going for are kind of around this concept of the military mind. So the character you play, Ryan Marks, is a soldier, and he's got lots of experience and training in that area. So what we've been able to do is then take that concept and apply it to the game. So you are, when you look at a scene, when you look at a combat environment, you are seeing the view from Ryan's mind's eye. So he will see a cover location, and that will ping up on his view, and you will see ammo in the environment. You're basically Jason Bourning the arena and just seeing where all your exits are and where all your combat opportunities are.
You've just named so many of the most classic modern action movies, so I think you're getting people a little excited.
Yeah.
Is setting your game in London and the home of your studio and the employees, is that a help or a hindrance in trying to design a space that represents a place you're very familiar with?
It's a big plus for us, I think. I think it's one of those funny things where, we're based in London, we're called London Studio, so we feel like we've got responsibility there to some extent. But then you also see other games kind of trying to do London, and you feel like, hey, that's ours. We can do this properly. Maybe that's the chocolate box version of London. It's always having Big Ben in the background and stuff like that. But we kind of want to do London right. And it's interesting in TV and drama, things like Luther and stuff like that being really popular. You've got London coming across as this new kind of character, and we want to kind of do that in games as well.
What do you think is the most important thing to convey to a player in virtual reality?
Wow. So I would say, I think doing what you can to really place you in the scene and keep you in the scene, keep you immersed. That's something we really focus on, because it's so easy to break that immersion, and that's the golden ticket. If you can sell someone on being in that environment, being in that action movie moment, that's when the pulse goes, that's when the adrenaline goes, and that's where we want to keep you. So it's some of the stuff we talked about before, and some of the stuff we did in London High. So what we found with things like the van scene, if you're familiar with that, with Mickey, where you were driving along and you're kind of shooting people on the M25. What we found was actually by adding all of those little extra interactions in that scene, where you could tune the radio and play with the sun visor and things like that. That was actually the stuff that bedded you into that scene. So when the action kicks off, you are so much more immersed at that point. So it's about selling you and tricking your brain to the point where you are there, and then you let the action flow.
James from London Studio, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having us.
Blood and Truth coming to PSVR exclusively in the future.
Yes.
And I look forward to hearing more, and safe travels and good luck with the rest of development.
Thank you.